Tell us your story, Gwen.
Well, it started out on a pretty rocky basis. We had both applied for the same scholarship, and it was a Zeller scholarship, and they elected to take Ben because they figured as a man he would probably go to work for them afterwards. So it was pretty frosty when we started. The only space that was available at the university at that time was the end of a corridor. So we had an office, quote, at the end of a corridor and a couple of desks not very far apart. So as I say, it was pretty frosty at first. But eventually we got to talking to each other, and by, I guess, maybe October, we were starting to go out together. And by Christmas we were engaged. So it lasted for 56 years. His company moved him quite frequently across the country, so we lived in a lot of different places. Oh my goodness, I have to stop and think now. We started out in Vancouver, and then we moved to Victoria, then to Winnipeg, then to an area north of Toronto, and back to the coast, and back and forth. Anyway, so it lasted for 56 years.
Your version at the same time. Oh, we'll start with you, Buzz.
Okay.
So how did you meet?
I met at the institute where had just been hired, an institute that opened in Vienna. And it was an institute that had both political as well as scientific foundations. It was meant to be an east-west journey that would be a step in maintaining a harmony of, or building a harmony of relations between the Soviet Union and their allies, and the United States and its allies.
Well, I was hired by the Institute in 1973, just about when the doors opened. I think I had the employee number 13, so I was the 13th employee there. And I was hired as the conference and meeting planner, and that was back in May. And in the summer I had vacation, of course, and in the meantime, Buzz Holling and his crew arrived from Canada to have their first conference. And I, of course, was planning and organizing the conference. And when he arrived, he found that I was on holiday, and he was not pleased at all that the conference organizer wasn't available for him as soon as he arrived on the scene. But anyway, we when I came back, I went to his office and I said, you know, what his concerns are. And there was this tall man sitting on behind his desk, his legs up on the desk, a cigar smoking. And I said, well, Dr. Holling, yeah, I'm here now, and everything is well under control. Can I answer any questions? And he just sat there and said nothing. That was strange.
I was struck by this beautiful creature that appeared at the door, asking the most obvious
anyway,
questions.
that's how we met the first time.
It's true that initially I was struck dumb.
Quiet.
Well, I wasn't taken by him. I thought he was arrogant.
Okay.
Yeah, you did.
So how did you get her to fall in love with you?
Luck, I guess.
It just kind of happened slowly, and he was a very, it still is a very charming man, and had a lot going for him. And yeah, it slowly developed, and then he went back to Canada actually after, what, about 2 years there?
Yeah.
And one Christmas he said, why don't you come over and we have Christmas together in Canada? And I said, that sounds pretty interesting. Vancouver, you know, is a nice place and to visit and all that. And I had, of course, no idea he had planned to take me up to Banff in the train. And he had organized.
See, that was the idea. I had decided I was going to propose to her.
Of course, I had no idea.
And
I might not have come.
she might not have come. So I arranged for the proposal to take place on the train heading in from Vancouver into Banff. And I had arranged caribou on the way and a moonlit night.
Yeah, it was gorgeous, you know, the snow glistening outside and the train going through.
And music on the...
Mozart music came on the radio.
I found some Mozart music, which her father loved. And
I did too.
And
And champagne cork popping.
right?
And then suddenly this little box came out with a ring in it. And I thought, what do you do? I can't jump out the train.
Good plan.
So I said yes.